Welcome to Web Handling. My name is Dave Roysum. This is a continuation of our mini-series on safety. In the first clip, we covered some typical case histories of serious web machine accidents. In the last clip, we covered safety codes. Here, we try to identify some common hazards found in and around web machines. A risk assessment is required for many new machines in many countries. A risk assessment is a good idea elsewhere. It begins by identifying specific risks. An example of a specific risk is getting pinched on a lowering cradle on a particular winder. Each risk is graded by the probability that an accident can occur in that way and the severity of that type of accident. A severity of a pinch on this equipment could vary from crushing to fatal. The seriousness of any individual risk is the probability times the severity. The overall risk on a given machine or in a plant is the sum of the seriousnesses of all risks there. Here is a starter list of some of the many common hazards on your web machine. These are broken down into a column for when the machine's drive is stopped and when the machine is running. Note that in our first clip in this series, we observed that most accidents occur at stop, jog, or thread speeds. When the drive is completely stopped, we have many pinch points. These may have forces ranging from pounds to tons, depending on the size of the equipment you have. In general, the forces are similar in size as is the collective wound roll weight. Slitter blades are a cut hazard not only because they may be spinning during a drive stop, but also when handling the blades during service. Air wands can be hazards because they can drive debris into the operator eyes and, if not equipped with a flow-restricting nozzle, can even open flesh. Noise is not a direct hazard in itself, but does increase hazards elsewhere because it is both stressful and distracting. When the machine is running, we have even more hazards, in addition to the ones already listed. The most serious of all is in-running nips. However, any of the rotating elements in the drive system can pose serious risk of injury. While rollers and threading ropes are usually open, many of the other elements are guarded. Ingoing nips are serious for the two reasons we discussed earlier. First, they are one of the most likely ways to get seriously hurt. Second, injuries tend to be more severe. Also, recall from our first clip that most accidents occur during stop, jog, or thread. High speeds are not at all necessary to cause serious injuries. Please note that even a wrapped idler roller can act like an ingoing nip for heavy, strong, or tacky webs. Some heavy webs have a breaking strength exceeding 1 ton on a 3-meter wide machine. Finally, loose clothing, long hair, and gloves can all increase the probability of getting entrained if the operator gets too close. Even when the roll product has been made, does not mean you are safe yet. There are many hazards in roll handling as well as in warehouses. Basically, anything that moves, even slower than a crawl, has the potential for very serious injury due to the high forces and/or inertias. We also have 2 new hazards to attention that have emerged in recent years. The first is gated walkways at intersections. Here, the worker might be distracted by the process of opening the gate, possibly holding it open for a buddy instead of paying attention to the forklift traffic. The second is cell phones. The heads-down walk you often see on a sidewalk is deadly there, and especially deadly in a plant. Many plants do not allow cell phone use except under very restricted and prescribed conditions, such as using one to dial an emergency call. The smart person learns from his own mistakes. The wise person learns from the mistakes of others. The risk assessment begins by observing every part and every aspect of a machine operation and trying, as a team, to anticipate all the ways someone might get hurt. To that list, you want to add any near misses or injuries that you are aware of in your plant, as well as other plants in your own company, as well as your competitors' plants, as well as on similar machines in other product lines, as well as what may be described in the literature, and so on. And again, the fine print. The web handling world is quite wide and circumstances can vary enormously. What I've given here is just a starter set of considerations. Take these, modify them, and add to them what might make even more safe sense for your own machine and your own plant. Thank you so very much for watching this module in my Plant Practical series. Stay tuned for the next clip where we will continue our discussion of safety by considering human factors.